Hello and welcome back to BeamNG Drive. I'm davidinark. Today I'm going to show you how to make inverted speed bumps. Now you're going to need the version 1 of the grid map. I'll have a link down in the description below. Then once you're in the game, you'll choose free roam, then choose grid map 1, and then choose the default spawn point, and that will bring you into the game. Once you are in the game, you're going to use Shift C for free cam mode, and then you can use WASD and hold the right mouse button down while moving around to control the camera. Press J to pause the game. After it's paused, you want to press F11 to open the world editor, and you're going to click one time on the half pipe, and you should see it highlighted over on the left-hand side. Now, once that's done, you're going to use WASD and zoom out a little bit. And then what we want to do is make sure that we are in the object select mode, and we have the translate tool selected, and then you're going to point to the little square that is the XY axis and drag the pipe kind of out of the way. And that's just going to give you some room to play with. You can drag the arrows to position it a little better, but that way you can play around with this half pipe. Now, over on the right hand side, you're going to click into the scale options, and you're going to type in very small numbers like 0.10 or something. You can play around with different numbers, but you want all three numbers to be the same initially. All right, we'll talk a little bit more about that later, but as you can see, it has completely shrunk down the half pipe, and as you look at it, you may decide, oh, okay, well, that still seems like that's kind of big, so if you want to, then you can click on it once again, and then go into that scale area and type in new numbers that are smaller. Again, ideally keep the numbers the same for right now, but you can play with these numbers for sure. And of course, your mileage may vary. If you decide you want to have super wide ones, that's great, or super skinny ones. You can play around with that. But for now, just make them all the same number, just so it's for uniformity, basically, is what it's for. All right, so once you've got that set, you're going to use WASD to move the camera around, and you're going to position your road. Now, to make the road, you're going to click on the Mesh Road tool, hold down the left Alt key on your keyboard, and click one time. After you click, you're just going to move the mouse. You're still holding the Alt key, and you're going to drag a tiny, just a sliver, really. Essentially what we're doing is we are making the road piece between each of the speed bumps that you're trying to make. Once you're done, then you're going to let go of the Alt key and click, and then that will set that position. Then you're going to switch over to the object select tool, and you're going to use the arrows. You drag the arrows to position that the way you want to. Then you can switch over to the rotate tool, and you can drag along the different axes to kind of get it set. Now you can also go over on the right hand side and type in the number. Like in this particular case, 1 happened to work perfectly, and so that got me pretty well straightened up. Again, I'm going to go over to the translate tool and use drag on the arrows, and that'll let me adjust where I want the road. I can also click on the up and down arrow in the translate tool, and I can either adjust the pipe up to the top of where the road is. That's the orange thing is going to be your road. Or I could click on the road and drag the road, or I can move the road up or down to align it with the top of the pipe. Basically, you just want the top of the road and the top of the pipe to be at the same level, if at all possible. Now, it may take some tweaking, so as I'm doing here, we're just kind of finagling a little bit, moving a little bit, and honestly, I think that actually looks pretty good right there, right? They're kind of butt up right against each other, so we're good to go. Okay, so while you're still in the world editor, you're going to hold the shift key and you're going to click on the pipe. So in this case, I have the road, hold the shift, and click the pipe, and that way it selects both of those. Then I'm going to hold the shift key and drag the arrow off to the side, and that will copy that pipe. And again, I want to line up this pair now with the previous pipe. And now it's a lather, rinse, repeat situation for as many of these half pipes as you want. As many of these inverted speed bumps, they're already selected as a pair. So just hold the shift key, drag over that arrow, and it will make a copy. So in this case, we've got 4 of them. I think that works. You may want 5, 6, you may want 100, whatever you want, you put them in there. Okay, now we're not quite done yet. So one of the things we need to do is we need to add a road to the end piece here. So I'm going to select just the road, and I'm going to hold the shift key and drag over that road, and that is going to add the end piece over to the left-hand side in my case. Now we're going to go back to the mesh tool, and then you're going to click on the node that is on the farthest outside of the piece that you're working with. So in this case, I'm on the right mesh road. I clicked the far right node, and I drag it out toward the right. I do the same thing on the left. I click on the left piece, I click the very leftmost node, and I drag it to the left, and you can see what I've done here. I've made a road, and we've got our inverted speed bumps using the half pipe that comes with the grid map version 1.0. Now, if you decide you need to make the road longer, you absolutely can. You just click on the road. Again, make sure you have the mesh tool, the road mesh tool selected at the top. Click on the road, and then click on the outermost node and drag it away from you. At this point, it's time for some testing. So we're going to drive, and yes, our car goes across the inverted speed bump with no problem at all. Now remember, inverted speed bumps are the opposite of regular speed bumps. The faster you go over an inverted speed bump, the easier it is for the car to drive. The slower you go, the more it's going to tear you up. Or in this case, I left enough space between each one that we actually got high centered. That was kind of useless, but you know, you get the general idea. Look at that. Yeah. But again, the faster you go, the less damage you'll have. All right. So right now it says no material. We want to fix that. So open up the world editor, and then you're going to make sure you click on the mesh road tool, click on one of the mesh roads, and then over on the right hand side where it says the top material, you're going to type ASPH for asphalt. Click the asphalt texture, and it will immediately replace the no texture with asphalt, and you do that for each segment. Likewise, if you want the sides painted so that they're not orange, you do the exact same thing, but you're going to choose the side material, and you have to do each one individually so far as I know. Once that is done, if you decide at that point that the pipes are too wide, then that's okay. You just go into your object selector at the top there, make sure that you got the object selector chose, and then you're going to come back over to the right hand side on the scale, and this time you're only going to adjust the X or Y, depends on how you've got it laid out, but you're going to adjust that to shrink it, and then use the arrows to move those into place as you saw there. Once again, it's time for testing, so we bust out a roamer and go to town. Okay, so another thing to think about, when you go to leave the level, whether you go play another level or you're going to quit the game, when you do, it is going to ask you, do you want to save the level? And you're going to say yes if you want to save it. When you do that, then when you reload the game, it comes back up, and the changes you made are absolutely saved. So there you go. That is how you do inverted speed bumps in BeamNG Drive. Now this is the quick and dirty way. There are probably a dozen other ways to do this, but again, this is quick and dirty. It's easy. It gets the job done. And there you go. Thank you so much to Hero of God, GamerGull, LosWilko, Connie C, Zachary 7220 Gamer, and the Maestro of Madness for supporting the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I'm davidinark. We'll see you next time in BeamNG Drive. Have a great day.